We're on day 23 of 60 in our countdown to the start of Ramadan by covering daily Muslim inclusion tips so that you and your organization can have your most inclusive Ramadan yet. If this is the first time we're meeting, hi, my name is Rahimeh, this is who I am and what I do. Today's tip is for anyone working in advertising, in marketing, in social media, anyone who's going to be picking stock photos or images or graphics for something around Ramadan or Muslim inclusion or something around wanting to include Muslims in your diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, something around that kind of work. So something you all need to keep in mind about Muslims is that Muslims around the world, and yes, even in Western countries, are incredibly diverse. There is no one race, no one ethnicity, no one way, or even just a handful of ways that Muslims look. Muslims are from all races and have all kinds of skin tones and body sizes and genders and ways of dressing and all the different ways that people show up in the world physically that you might see that could be represented in a stock photo or in some sort of graphic with an illustration or something like that. Sometimes folks choosing these kinds of materials for their publications or for social media or something like that can get in trouble when trying to portray Muslims because the automatic assumption is that, oh, we're going to pick a Muslim woman in a headscarf and a hijab, and that is going to be our Muslim representation in whatever our social media or photography or whatever materials that you're putting together. And honestly, I do understand how that comes about. However, it is important, especially when we're talking about Ramadan, and if you are trying to show a group of Muslims, that you are not just showing a bunch of hijabis or Muslim women wearing the religious head veil that you see me wearing right now. There are many Muslim women who choose not to wear hijab, and they should also be mentioned and celebrated in materials covering Ramadan. There are Muslim men, there are Muslims of any and all genders. There are going to be Muslims of any age and skin type, so you want to make sure that you are not only depicting Muslims with lighter skin tones, you want to make sure that you have various ranges of skin tones. Just as a fun fact, about 30% of the Muslims in the United States specifically are Black, whether they are African Americans or whether they are African immigrants or from other parts of the African diaspora. So making sure that we also represent Black Muslims in these communications and materials.